Hi everybody, my name is Chelsea Gibson with Wild Rose Wellness, here for your daily free video, and today we're talking about living with family or other people like roommates during quarantine. This is the time where, we're socially isolated. A lot of you, especially if you're extroverted, are not used to being at home this much, and for all of us, we're also not used to spending this much time with those that we love. And whether or not you're in a relationship with somebody, or it's living with your parents, or it's living with your children, how can we help each other go through this in a way that's light and positive? And how can we support each other when it's not light and positive and we're having fear and anxiety? So there's going to be tools that we're going to talk about today that are just for you supporting yourself in regards to them. There's also going to be tools on how you can help support others. A lot of these tools are in my Clearing Negativity certification class, which you can check out at wildrosewellness.net/clearingnegativity for more information and certification on that class. Phenomenal class, and all recorded too, so you can watch it at home right now. And so first of all, how do you help yourself if you're starting to get frustrated with another that you love? And this is the thing, in our current culture, we have, if we love somebody, generally we feel more comfortable around them, so we're more comfortable to express ourselves fully. And unfortunately, part of that is we can easily get angry at each other, or we can be short with each other, or hurt each other's feelings because we're feeling claustrophobic. Or maybe they're doing something that just really bugs you, that usually when you can go out and hang out with your friends or go to work, that you don't actually get to experience and be around all the time. So what do you do when those thoughts come up? The first thought I'm going to teach you, you want to take a deep breath. It's in every single video of mine. And then you want to get mindful, right? What is it that's actually bugging me here? Now, if it's they're leaving the toilet seat up, what actually here is bugging you? And it's really important when you're asking yourself, what is actually the thing that's bugging me, is because typically there's going to be a surface level thing that'll bug you, but really it's about this undertow. And I call it the undertow. It's the undercurrent. It's the emotions that you're feeling. Maybe you just watch the news and then you're feeling anxious, and then they leave the toilet seat up, and then you're even more anxious. So it's really important that when we get frustrated with ourselves or others, that typically it's not just that thing they're doing, it's the buildup of anxiety or emotions that lies underneath it. So you want to ask yourself, what is this actually about? Check in with yourself. What is the current situation around you getting frustrated? And then what you want to do is take that deep breath a second time, because when you want to deliver this message to somebody, it is more productive if you deliver messages about what somebody's doing and you'd like it to change. It's easier if it doesn't come with judgment. For an example, if it's dishes and you're saying, you never do the dishes, I can't believe you didn't do the dishes, I asked you before, and this could be a spouse, this could be your children, this could be a roommate. The most productive thing that you can do to express your frustrations is say, hey, I was wondering if you were able to do the dishes, or I feel this way when you do this thing. These are the emotions that come up for me. And it's really important, the I feel conversations, even if you're a male and you're not used to using I feels, this is what comes up for me is another thing. Like, I'm sorry, I just get anxious when there's lots of dishes in the sink. Hey, I just get anxious when blank. I get angry when blank. And what you do is you say I, which means that you're taking ownership for the emotional part. You're requesting of them if they can come and meet you, and then you guys can talk and find either a compromise, or if they're able to. I used to be awful at remembering to do the dishes, so I would tell my mother when I was living with her that you want to leave me a note, like whatever it is that's going to work to remind me. Or you could actually just say, hey, could you do the dishes? And I'll do them. And that's the thing. It's so much about delivery, and it's one thing to be the deliverer who's delivering the message, and then it's really important when you're on the receiving end and you're receiving the messages. So when you're receiving a message that makes you really frustrated, instead of getting your back up and feeling like you need to defend yourself, somebody is getting frustrated with an action you're doing during quarantine, and what they're saying feels maybe naggy, or maybe it feels like they're judging you, or maybe you're just stressed out too. Remember, take that deep breath. Receive what they're saying, and knowing that what they're saying, the words that are coming out of their mouth, is their point of view. It doesn't have to be yours. And when you have that assumption that you guys might not meet all the time, it doesn't matter if it's children or spouses or roommates, it's highly unlikely that people living together are going to have the exact same points of view at the exact same time all the time. It's highly unlikely. So just accept it. Be an allowance of that and actually receive their information as their point of view. Check in with yourself. What is my point of view about this? How do I feel about this? And then you want to communicate back to them in I feel words, or it makes me anxious when, I feel anxious when. You can play with the wording that you want it to feel comfortable for you. The last thing you want to be doing is sounding like a robot while you're trying to communicate frustration, right? Always remembering those deep breaths, particularly when it comes to communicating on email, text, and then when you're in quarantine, because everybody's already heightened because of the stress. Just naturally being told you can't leave your house brings up anxiety. Then when you're in this house and you're not able to communicate properly and you guys are all meeting each other and you're butting heads, it's because one or both of the parties are feeling like they're not heard. So it's important to take that breath. It's important to go and sit down somewhere where you can communicate. This is how I feel. When this happens, this is how I feel. But don't forget that first tool that I gave you. Look at the context. I highly doubt it's just about the dishes. Is it about the dishes all the time? Did you just watch the news? Did you get a stressful email? Because there's times where sometimes we're texting a friend or we're emailing a coworker, and then somebody in our house will come in and then complain, and we'll be like, and we'll snip back because the energy from this message is actually colliding with the energy of what they're talking about, right? So you're overstimulated. So what you want to do is communicate to those around you, I'm sending this email. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'm just going to hit send, and then we can talk about it. When you're talking about what's making you frustrated and how you feel during this isolation, it's going to be so important that you don't have your phone where your attention is being in different directions. Now, if you have kids, it's a bit of a different story. Communicating with kids is a bit of a different story. But those core tools that I just taught you are a great place to begin. Now, if you need a private session that's just for you and those you love, they're buy one, get one free. You can click the link below for more information on that. You guys, we can all get through this together. We're all in a stressed out space. There's anxiety all over. Some of it's conscious and some of you might not be consciously aware that it's there, and you think it's about the dishes or that email or that thing that person said, and it might just be that there is stress in the air. So it's so important that we're communicating clearly, that we're communicating based on eyes, not blame from another person. And then thirdly, it's so important that we're actually coming together to find a solution that meets everyone's needs. So I will talk more about this in another video. I keep getting more questions about it. Thank you all for being part of this, and you're doing all an amazing job with the tools you have available. And I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye for now.